We're back with the Kissel again, 1926, looking at the frame with the body off. And Sebastian and I kind of looking it over just before we're going to strip a number of these items off of the frame. He was real helpful right after we got the body itself off. He's asking a few questions about the car, the situation with various items, and he's going to notice that there's a bolt in the head shortly here up by the water outlet area that I'm going to have to pull. Not a big problem. Easy solution to that later on. Looking over, seeing the general condition, everything's in amazingly good condition. It's just old and dirty and has some light surface rust here and there. If we went through and looked at it and actually wiped it off, you find out the paint really is green on that frame. I know it doesn't look like that with all the dirt, but it actually is. Here's the body mounted up on my car trailer. Made a little stand for it to hold in the meantime, used a couple of jack stands. And once it's off the actual frame, we don't have the adjustments in the body that we had with the various shimming, so you actually can't close the driver's side door perfectly. But as you can see, the body is in amazingly good shape. It's almost completely dent-free and really doesn't even have hardly any rust on it. Amazing condition. Here's Sebastian leaving his truck, his early 70s pickup truck he's restoring, just to be sort of a hauler truck, but also be kind of nice. And given the price of trucks, it's a good deal. A little bit more showing you how it's mounted on the trailer. This is before we've covered it with a tarp, which we will do. It's not going to be in the video, but we do that. Here we've pulled the engine, bell housing, transmission combination out of the frame in preparation for cleaning all that up and getting it beautiful, as well as repairing anything that needs to be done to it. Remember, this was a running engine. Some shots of the frame after we pushed it outside, waiting for it to get picked up by the sandblaster. And here comes our Kitty Nashville checking out the situation with the car outside. You can see we stripped off almost everything except the actual frame, the springs, and front and rear axles, so it's transportable. The wheels are actually all on there super loose at this point, so they can be pulled off by the sandblaster and put right back on. One of the interesting things you see here is green paint in some spots where you can see it still real easily. But as I said, that whole frame is actually green, so it was a custom painted car. I highly doubt that somebody pulled this car apart before and completely stripped it and repainted it. There's nothing that indicates that. In fact, everything looks like it's factory. Save if you notice right there in the middle, the mount for the master cylinder has been messed up. It was replaced by somebody in the past. We're going to put the original master cylinder style back on. Here are the guys from Backblast AZ. They've come to pick up the frame for sandblasting. Yeah, I have a couple of sandblasters, and even my larger one, which is semi-industrial, I don't want to spend the amount of time necessary at this point to strip this frame. It's better to have it done by somebody with a really heavy-duty blaster and just get it done real quick. So they're here to pick it up. We're rolling around the yard to take it over to his trailer, which his trailer's seen a lot of use, but it'll do the job for moving the car. At this point, it doesn't really weigh much, but as you're going to see, we're going to have to actually hand push this up onto his trailer. Unfortunately, his winch was not available, so as I said, we have to hand push it up on there. And most of it's real easy until the last minute when we're going to push pretty hard to get it up on. And once we get the rear wheels on, it's not a big deal. You get it up on the trailer. Trish likes action shots, so she thought you'd be interested in seeing us maneuver it around. As I said, virtually everything's off of it, just front, rear axles, and springs, and the actual frame itself are left. And remember, every single hole that could get sand in it and be detrimental has actually been plugged. So there are a lot of temporary plugs, although admittedly they're quality pipe plugs, but they are nonetheless temporary, won't be staying, and the sandblaster's been informed about all of those. What he'll actually do when he gets it at his place is he'll pull those wheels, leave the plugs in, and he'll wrap stuff, such as the axles, with a special form of duct tape, and they will not get blasted. As you can see, once we got on here, it wasn't too bad. There's a little hang up with the steering, but not a big deal. So we'll get it up on the trailer, and once it's up on the trailer, he's going to strap the whole thing down for its transport out to Coyote Springs, which is probably 25 minutes from us, mostly because it's slow roads to get there, where he can sandblast this and basically bring it back to absolutely pristine condition. Just a little bit of surface rust in a couple spots to take off with a wire brush at that point, but it's going to look a whole lot nicer. And he'll pop those wheels off, as I said, and put them back on. Again, in neither the front nor rear will they be put on tight. It's just so it can roll and how he can get it on and off easily. The rear wheels, for example, have tapered axles, and when they're on tight, they are a heck of a thing to get off. I took off one of them, and it came off with a loud bang. Pretty much sounded like something you'd hear with an explosion. It was so hard to pull, so I warned him, don't put them back on tight. Not a good situation. So here it is all tied down, and they're going to head out. Tricia's going to give you a shot, not only of it leaving the driveway, but also of a shot down below, because we share a resort entrance here, and she's going to show that with the vehicle leaving to get on the highway. Even though with all these rocks around, it doesn't look like there's a highway real close, but there actually is. There it goes out the front to the highway, which is right there. See you back in a while.
We're back again with the 1926 Kissel, and looking at the engine here. This engine was a running engine in very good shape, has less than 20,000 miles on it. So we're not going to take everything apart because it's not necessary when it's in this good a condition. However, there are places that get very dirty and have a lot of oil and grime, and we can go through and use a wire brush and get a lot of things clean, but there are also areas like this where I can't get in there. So a solution, even with a moto tool, a small wire brush, and some hand scraping, etc., is to ultimately have to use brake clean. Now this is O'Reilly's. We're not recommending O'Reilly's over anybody. It's just that you can get brake cleaner. And brake cleaner allows you to shake up and spray your solvent into areas you otherwise can't get. And so as it drips off, you'll find out that until it's clean, it's going to come off with some grime or oil color in it. But it does a great job, and I'm getting down to where there's not much actually in here anymore. Actually getting it cleaned off. So to clean something you cannot get to, brake parts cleaner works really good.
Here you see the engine after it obviously was cleaned, and a number of things done to it, including being painted and a number of parts being put back on. Got it suspended over the completely sandblasted frame. We're still waiting for enough good weather to actually paint it. Yes, it rains at this time in Arizona, and the real problem is having enough hours to get the car done before it starts raining each day. So we're in a waiting period for that, and I'm progressing on other things other than the frame itself. But you can see it's pretty clean. A couple of spots of surface rust or flash rust that I'll have to remove with a wire brush, but that's not hard. Most of it's just completely cleaned off, looks beautiful, all set to actually be painted. At this point, I've already pulled the plugs on and blown out a lot of the sand and gotten a lot of it ready. As I said, just a little surface rust, a little minor cleanup, and it'll be ready for the actual paint. Here you've got the engine with the water pump back on it, the mount for the generator, distributor, and looking at the underside of the engine itself and back down to the frame. The rubber is original at this point, not changed out. It will be changed out after the painting. No reason to do it now, just make something I'd have to mask. There's the transmission, a project yet to come. A little bit of assembly showing the bell housing going back on. And shortly you're going to also see that I've actually got a little information on the throwout bearing. The throwout bearing here is a graphite piece. That's the way it was built. It's been put back the same way with the graphite throwout bearing in it. Very interesting throwout bearing compared to what we're used to in a modern vehicle. And you can see everything works fine. At this point, we haven't even re-greased everything. This is just with whatever little lubrication is in there. Like and subscribe. See you next time.